Afternoon. I'd like to ask everyone to get comfortable, have a seat, or get in the shade. I'd like to welcome you all on behalf of the Baum family. I know for most of us, it's the first time that we've been here. Because last April, most of us watched our friend's funeral on Zoom. And so I'd like to begin by giving us all a minute to go into that place in our heart where we have a fond memory of Herbie and just say a prayer or smile on your memory. I'm going to start by reading the Mourner's Kaddish because I'm going to read it in English. I wouldn't even attempt to do it in Hebrew. Glorified and sanctified be God's great name throughout the world, which he created according to his will. May he establish his kingdom in your lifetime and during your days, and within the life of the entire house of Israel, speedily and soon. And we all say, Amen. May his great name be blessed forever through all of eternity. Blessed and praised, glorified, exalted, extolled and honored, adored and lauded be the name of the Holy One. Blessed be he beyond all the blessings and hymns and praises and consolations that are ever spoken in the world. And we all say, Amen. May there be abundant peace from heaven and life for us all and for all of Israel. And we all say, Amen. He who creates peace in his celestial heights, may he create peace for each and every one of us and for all of Israel. And we all say, Amen. I'm going to read David's Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures, and he leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. And even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. Tommy.
Thank you, Daniel. So boy, did he love some conversations with Daniel. Herbie definitely valued that friendship. On behalf of the family, thanks so much for being out here with us today. Thanks for joining us remotely if you couldn't make it to celebrate our Herbie's life. Sweetie, thanks so much for letting me say a few words. It's hard to believe that it's been a year. And while any year would have been tough to lose the likes of Herbert M Baum, this past year would have been a little bit more tolerable with Herbie's sense of humor and unique perspective on the universe. First, it has to be said that not much more would irritate Herbie than for us to be standing around making a fuss about it. Although it would probably bring some degree of amusement to him that Karen has me standing here before you today saying nice things about him. So as a student of the business world, it was a special treat to call a titan of industry a friend and family. And I choose the word friend before family deliberately, in that he and I saw the world very similarly and defined friendship very similarly. And as I suspected early on and came to know throughout the years, Herbie was very specific about who he truly let into his inner circles of friends. And while the pop culture term friend zone isn't necessarily a positive one, to make it into Herbie's friend zone was priceless. You learn a lot about a person as you observe their selection process and the selections themselves of who makes it into the friend zone. Even more so by the diversity of those friends that he chooses. And by evidence of the group gathered here today, Herbie is the gold standard in that respect, both in the crowd gathered today, those joining from far away, those who couldn't make it, and those who went before Herbie. You also learn a lot about a person by observing their priorities and their passions. And Herbie's passions were in a very specific order. First, Karen, the love of his life. Lexi, his granddaughter and the apple of his eye. His animals. And if you know the Baums a little, you know we'd be here all day if I tried to name half of them, if I even could remember half of their names. Next in line would be all animals and their welfare, a passion and a focus and mission of the final chapters of a storied life well lived. Then, well, there's the rest of us, friends and family, Dina, Mark, his favorite son-in-law, all in debatable order, and the lines of which between friends and family were often very difficult to discern. Rounding out Herb's top 10 list would be collecting fine watches, reading, he was a voracious reader, smoking a fine cigar, all of which he could do and enjoy with his friends at Provident, one of his favorite stops, some of his favorite people. How best to describe Herbert Baum and his accomplishments have been well documented. And if you can hear my voice today, you've likely heard or read most, if not all of them. But if I had to, in as few words as possible, choose the words that I think best describe what I saw that Herb Baum stood for and what I saw as at the core of his being, those words would be principle, character, integrity, service, generosity, compassion, leadership, continuous improvement, results, and getting things done and making a difference. Herbie was reverent and faithful. Most of all, Herbie was about everyone else. The best of Herbie was not his intellect or his vision, it was his humanity. It was not that he was perfect, it was how humble and genuine he was about his imperfections. In my mind, some of my favorite memories are date nights with the Baums, dinner and the comedy show with the Jasowskis, favorite little sixum there, that were where I saw Herbie at his personal best, enjoying life and laughing like nobody could other than Herbie Baum. So the man who turned around or built multiple Fortune 500 brands, rescued countless creatures, impacted even more human lives, gave of his wealth, wisdom, and service selflessly. Herbie will be most importantly remembered for the sparkle in his eye every time he saw his girlfriend, Karen Baum, the unbridled joy and pride that his granddaughter, Lexi, brought, and maybe most notably, he'll forever be remembered for the social media sensation that he was, for that magic spoon on the nose trick that everybody knew and loved so well. Herbie, we love you. We miss you. You will always be in our hearts and minds. That will never change. And now I'd love to introduce Herbie's furry friend's partner in crime, Pat DeShong, president of Furry Friends and friend to Herb Baum. Pat.
Thank you, Tommy. I practiced the speech. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Okay. I practiced the speech so many times over and over, and I hope it comes out the way I want it to. This is a tough one. I probably am on the TV, on the news, at least once a week, constantly making speeches, but this is so much harder. It comes from the heart. Herb was my mentor, and he was my best friend. Back in August, my husband died suddenly also, and he was the love of my life and my best friend. So I lost my two pillars of strength, if you will, the two men that influenced me, although I like to say inspired me the most to be who I am today, and a leader. Herb and Bob would go meet at the beach house of Herb's, have cigars, talk about corporate America, and think that they were solving the world's problems. They were very good friends. And if there's one thing that I want to say to you today and leave you with is to please make sure that you tell the people that you love how you feel about them, because you never know when things can end just like that. And I had that opportunity. My husband was in the hospital, so I thought he was going to come home. So I did have the opportunity to say, get you home, honey, I love you. And I did get to say that to him. Herb was a little more difficult to do that with. He was very modest. He didn't want to hear thank you, as we know. We all know how accomplished he was. So I finally figured out how to way to do it. Back in 2018, you may remember, there was a canine sheriff's deputy dog that was killed in the line of duty. His name was Seago. And he died saving the life of Officer Ryan Soriano. So I came up with the idea that at our gala every year, we would come up with an award with the acronym using SEGO. And what we came up with was courage, integrity, genuineness, and outstanding commitment to save animals. Oh my God, who could possibly fit that definition more than Herb Baum? So in 2019, we decided amongst ourselves that we were going to honor him. We knew we couldn't tell him, because if we told him, he would never show up. And we said, how are we going to do this adequately? A guy like Herb Baum with such an impressive resume. So of course, with Karen's help, she fed me the names of the most inspiring people from Campbell Soup and Quaker State Motor Oil and all these different corporations, and his very best friend, Jim Mills. Now, none of these people lived locally also. So I had to figure out how to way to make a video, which didn't cost a lot of money because then Herb would know about it because he was chairman of the board. So I had to figure out how to way of doing that and get this video made. We were able to do it thanks to the technology of iPhones and a very good videographer that I could afford. And we went to places like Chicago and Utah, and we didn't go there actually. We just were able to get people to give a message to Herb. And probably the best message of that whole video that we did, which was about 5 minutes, was of course from Karen, telling her how much she loved Herb and the family. So the night of the event in 2019, I got up and said, well, we're gonna honor our SEGO award winner. Never said who it was, and then the video comes up, and Herb, you could see his head goes down, and you could see here all his people from his past are talking. It was about 5 minutes. I come up and I said, Herb, please come up. He wasn't moving. So I walked over to him. I said, Herb, please come up and accept your award. And he got up and said, I'm going to kill you. Said, we'll wait till tomorrow. I said, because if you don't come up right now, I'm going to kill you. He said, all right. So he got up and, we put him off guard. He made a very poignant speech. And, but he never watched it. I mean, I knew that he wasn't watching it that day. And I would say to him the next day, we would always meet at Starbucks and have a cup of coffee like 3 times a week. That was his official office. I would say, Herb, did you watch the video? No, I'll watch it. No. Well, months later, his very best friend, Jimmy Mills, from Chicago, billionaire, very successful businessman, and he was somebody that Herb just adored. Herb comes to me one morning and he said, where's that video that you made for me? He said, Jimmy's in it, right? And I said, yes. He said, I want to watch it. I said, all right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll send it to you. But let's watch it together right now for a second. And I really wanted to see what his reaction would finally say when he watched the video, and you could see the tears coming down, every now and then. And he squeezed my hand and he said, Jimmy was my best friend. He said, he's gone. He said, so now you're my best friend. And that was just, the greatest compliment in the world that Herb Baum, his friend. Simply said, there would be no furry friends the way it is today without him. With him and an array of board members back then in 2013, we created, under his leadership, the best management team, the best board of directors, and the best legacy for Herb Baum. Furry Friends is really, I'm sure you all know, it's an incredible organization. It's because of its leadership. So please make sure you tell the people that you care about, because it is so important, because you never know whether you're going to have that chance. If anybody wants to see that video, just email me, text me, and believe me, it's great watching it. It's worth seeing. If you really care about Herb, watch it, because you'll get to hear testimony of people that he hasn't seen in years. You get to see his whole life. You'll get to see actually what he did with Furry Friends. And it was funny in the video itself. Everybody kept saying in the video to the camera, Herb, wasn't my idea, because he knew he was going to be pissed. So I came up with another idea. I put this longtime pit bull named Chloe that he knew next to me on the camera. And then I said to the camera, you responsible for this video? Did you make this video of her? Well, her look on her face was priceless. She looks down. Then I said, well, he's got more cats than dogs. Got to get a cat in here. Black and white tuxedo cat we had that was given his friend. Put the dog, cat there. Basically the same thing. I swear to God, that cat put its middle finger up to us. Everybody went hysterical. They both looked so guilty. So I said to her, they did it. They planned it. And anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for having me. Herb adored his family. Karen, thank you for giving me the privilege of being here and taking me into your family too. And I think I'm supposed to introduce Drew.
Hello, everyone. I'm Drew, and I'm a big Herb fan like everybody else. And first, I want to say, Karen, I'm honored that you invited me to speak because I only knew Herb for about 2 years, and my interactions with him were short. They were at the gym. We'd be at the gym 2-3 days a week, and we became fast friends. And I'm thinking, who is this guy? He shows up with these outfits and color coordinated, a t-shirt with a funny slogan or logo on it. T-shirt, usually yellow and red, I think were his favorite colors. That's what I recall. And they have it's got matching gym shorts, matching gym shoes, and of course, a matching belt. He would come to the gym. The whole gym loved him, and the whole gym knew him. And he spent time with everybody at the gym. They needed help. He was the mayor of the gym. And I would watch him work out, in between sets. He would tell jokes, he would tell stories, funny remarks. Everybody wanted his ear. I would watch him work out. And as much as he was joking around and having a good time, he was serious, religiously working out in a serious. He had his trainer was Nasser, who's with us, who we loved. And Nasser, I now know, was a taskmaster because I've subsequently used Nasser. And he worked out so hard. And I remember looking at Herb and saying, wow, 83 years old, this is what 83 can do. And he became a very close friend. And that was just my gym interaction. It was very short. My fondest memory is he invited me to come to the beach and smoke cigars. And I come out one day and he tours me through this beautiful house on Jupiter Island, sitting on the beach. He and Karen had renovated it. It has a magnificent pool, just fills your eyes with ocean. And he would spend his days there. This was his hideaway, his seclusion. He said he loved to swim, smoke cigars, read books or stacks of books, and just look at the ocean. And for 3 or 4 hours, we sat there. It was a chamber of conversation. It was perfect. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. We sat on the back patio, and cigars and spoke. Discussed our lives, discussed our childhoods, his childhood friends, my childhood friends, our families, wives, kids, grandchildren. We discussed our careers. He humbly spoke of his philanthropy. I was truly in awe of him. It was a day that I will never forget. And as I'm leaving, Herb is thanking me for coming by. And I'm thinking, he's thanking me. I'm thanking him. I mean, this is a day that is embedded in my mind. And maybe Karen knows this and that, because I was like, why am I speaking at this wonderful man's reception? I knew him very shortly, but I thought this tells a lot. And the last time I saw Herb, we were at the gym and we walked out. Every day we'd walk out together. We'd look at his cars, see what they were. He was keeping it. He wasn't keeping it. He had that blue Porsche, red Ferrari. We walked out, we said goodbye. And I watched him speed away like a teenager in his Mini Cooper. And I was like, this is impressive. 83 years old, speeding down, loving his cars, driving away. And I thought, this is really wonderful. So as I reflect on him, you know, I knew him for a short time, but I feel like our friendship was a fun, long friendship, lifelong friendship. And for that, I'm thankful. And I read this, was thinking about what to say to my wife, and I had a hard time even saying it without getting through it. And I thought, why is this? This is a man I knew for 2 years, but he was special. And I think everybody here knows how truly special he was. And I just want to say thank you, Herb, for being my friend.
For everything, there is a season. Time for every matter under heaven. Time to be born, time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted. Time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down, time to build up. Time to weep, time to laugh, time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. I want to close with this short story. Thursday, I was thinking, you know, what can I possibly say? How many times does everybody have to hear the wonderful man, how amazing? I thought, praying and meditating, give me something. Give me something. The beautiful thing happened. And the voice of intuition told me I had to tell this vision. When I came here today for the first time, the first word I noticed was beloved. And I'll show you why that's so important. So in my mind's eye, where the Lord speaks to me, I saw Herbie ascend into the heavens. And man, there were hundreds of people. And I knew in my heart they were his friends and they were his ancestors and his family, and they were all applauding. And he just kept walking straight ahead. And he got to Rainbow Bridge. Every dog that he had ever saved that has passed on, and cats, they were jumping, dancing, and purring. But he just continued to walk to the horizon. And as he got to the horizon, the light got very, very bright. And I saw the clouds become spirits in white robes and hoods. And in my heart, I knew they were the wise men and women of the Old Testament who had brought him home. So thank you. Thank you, Herbie. We're going to have a toast to the spirit of Herb Baum, a spirit that will live forever. and Herb's voice said to me, please tell this story because it'll bring peace to my beloved Karen. Perfect. We ready? And so in closing, we lift our glasses to Herb Baum and we say, Herbie, breathe in the glory of Yahweh in the realm of the eternal. Shalom to your spirit, my friend. Shalom. Shalom. You've enjoyed your champagne. There's a lunch to follow, and it's right up halfway here, right behind. It'll be very easy to find. Thank you. Thank you. I give it. I'll hang out.